Hi. Hi everyone. Hopefully you can all find me. I was having a massive mare with my password, so that's why I was a little bit late. Hopefully people can find me in here. Hi Val. And I always set up an event so you get a reminder, but I think you meant to go live in the event, but I always like to go live in the group. Hi Auntie Rose. How you doing? Hi Jen. So I think we'll start tonight with a card before we get going into the boundaries, because I always like to see what the cards are saying. Oh, we've got 8 people on now. Hi Denise. Just let me know in the comments as well who's listened to this week's podcast, so I can get a feel for what people know, what they don't know, and then so we've got a card, and this is for the group. So we've got answer the call, which is a nice one. What is your soul calling you to do? And I think this session will hopefully, it's not going to give you your soul's calling, but it might give you a kick to say, yes, I am worth it, and let's get things rolling. And I am the creator of my destiny, and I can be as happy as I want to be. And that's key, think about that. We put our boundaries on how happy we are by giving our power away to everybody else. So I'm going to go through this, but what this mini masterclass is all about tonight is a celebration, because this is my 1 month anniversary, and I know it's crazy celebrating a month, but I'm trying to celebrate my wins, which everybody should be doing. So this is the 1 month anniversary for the membership group, and it's going so well. The girls in there are amazing. Hi Casey. And I'm going to be doing a bigger masterclass for them on boundaries and things this month. But we've already had a masterclass on law of attraction. We've had a Q&A session where we got talking about all sorts of things, and that's your chance to ask me loads of questions. And also there's other coaches in there as well, so they come on and help and answer different things. So we were talking about literally all sorts in the last one, which was amazing. So if you are interested, or you're on the fence about joining, or you want to ask me any questions, pop them in the chat. I'll try and answer them as well. But let me know, because honestly, it is going so well. It's so much fun. So I wanted to really celebrate, because we have some amazing people in there, and I'm chuffed to bits. So thank you so much. Casey's celebrating my win home from my... Yes! Oh, how are you feeling? Amazing. Hope you're doing well. And this will be a good one for you, because I know you love talking about boundaries and how to set them. So I've done the podcast on it this week because I put the vote in there and everybody wanted to talk about it. And if I'm honest, before I started what I'm doing, my boundaries were pretty shocking. I give out my energy to literally everybody. I was constantly saying yes when I wanted to say no. I put everybody's emotions before my own, and I just didn't have any energy. I felt drained. I felt bitter. Like, really, there was an anger in me because I resented it. I was like, oh, having to do this again. And I just felt like all of my time and everything I did, spare time, it was just devoted to other people. And I was just giving out everything to either boost people up or like just do things for them. And I just felt physically drained and emotionally drained, and I had nothing left in the tank. And it was just constant. It was in work, I was giving, not getting much back. At home, I was the same. Family was the same. Don't repeat this, Auntie Rose. But, it was everything. So it was just a combination, and it come down to the amount of worth I placed on myself. And I didn't have enough self-worth. I didn't think I was worth putting myself first. Hi, Jenny. And that is the key thing, when you think about who do you put first in your life, are you even on your top 5? Let's be honest. Who can say they are top 3 in their priority list in their life? If if it's a yes, you are in that top 3, put me a thumbs up. But if it's a no, put like a sad face in there. My secrets are safe. Thank you. Probably not, because other people are in this group. So yeah, just pop a comment in. Do you class yourself, are you in, like literally, are you in your top 3 priority list, or do you have 3 other people that you probably put before yourself? Just have a little think. Give me a thumbs up if it's a yes, I'm in that top 3. Janie's a no. Yeah, I was definitely a no. Sometimes I have to give myself a kick as well, because I'm still, you're still not 100% there. But this is the thing. Just anybody else want to pop a comment in around that, whether you do put yourself first, or you're always thinking of others, or others' emotions and things are more important, just let me know. So yeah, Val's more often now. Good on you, Jen, honestly. So I'm just going to check the notifications, just because I know people tend to go to that events page rather than so I'm just checking everybody's found us. Right. So yeah, Casey's working on it. We've been working on it, haven't we, Casey, and trying to get you up to a good standard on this. So in the podcast, I've went through kind of my top 10 list of things you can do to strengthen your boundaries. Melanie, you're a no. Yeah, Louise, bit of both. Yeah. And it's the thing is, as we grow up, as we become adults, and especially as women, we are often told that you're meant to look after everybody else. You'll have taken on different roles as kids. You'll have become like either the nurturer of the family, where you take on the responsibility of younger siblings, or even elderly relatives, and you just end up looking after everybody. Or you'll have been told that, other people were more important, depended on siblings and things like that. And it might not have been done at a conscious level. They might not have intentionally made you feel that way. But naturally, over time, things like that can get stuck in the way that we think. Naomi changes daily. Now, Naomi, I know you good enough to say that you are definitely not in that top 3. No offense. And it's really hard, because we're conditioned as women that we're not to speak up. We are to say yes to everything. If we want to get ahead in a job, we've got to be that yes woman. And I've been that woman in my career where I refuse to be that yes woman. And you don't become well liked. You don't become well thought of. You're not the next one in line for that job. They want to give it to the meeker, milder type of person who isn't going to question things. So you learn over time that you just to shut up, be good, keep your thoughts to yourself. It doesn't really matter what you think, because, you can't voice that. And it's come from all sorts in our history. It's come from, you look at women 50, 60 years ago, we've got so much more privilege now. And this is the thing, we need to upgrade our mindset now to where we are in this society, because we're still in the mindset really of elder, like 50, 60 years ago, because we've grew up with this in our mind. We've grew up around our grandparents, we've grew up around our parents, and they've got this older mindset because they've been around that as kids, and that then naturally comes into our childhood and our way of being, even though they don't mean to. At a subconscious level, it's underneath the surface. And we've got to now shift that. We've got to upgrade this mindset to this 2020. We've got to get to where women have all this amazing, like, we have amazing potential. We have amazing things at our fingertips. We're just not tapping into it yet, because we don't have these boundaries right. We're not putting ourselves first, and we're not always that star of our show. Now, when I say that, it's always about, think of, you were born in this world as you. You didn't have a husband. You were born, you've only just met your family at that point. You literally, there was you. on your soul journey, on your soul mission, which, hello, we got answer the call card today, soul calling. So it all links in. We come with this soul journey, this soul mission, and yet we were brought up in this society, in this way of thinking that kind of dilutes our whole being in a sense. So we were brought in with this mission, our mission, one mission for us, and then everybody else's influence start to play a part. And actually, you'll end up doing things that you hear yourself doing things, you hear yourself saying things, and you're like, is that even me? And half the time it's not. So you're giving somebody else your power because you're giving them your emotion, you're getting frustrated with them, you're getting angry with them. And by doing that, you're giving them their power, and you're letting them make you feel a certain way. Because when you boil it down, no one has the power to make you feel a certain way. They can do things that you don't like, but you are in complete control of your emotions and your reactions. And that we're in this pattern of reacting in a certain way, but when you start to change that, you take your power back, you take your control back. And for me, that's what boundaries is all about. It's literally claiming your power back, which I did tenfold, and I'm still doing it every day. It's a practice. I literally have to practice it, have to keep myself in check. Am I putting myself first? Am I shining my light? Am I being who I'm meant to be? And you have to keep checking in with yourself to make sure you are. And believe me, where I am now, 10 years time is going to be completely different, because I'm going to keep working on myself. I am that important. And that isn't ego. That isn't thinking I'm better than anyone else. That is just fact. I am here to do a job. I'm here to do my mission. I know what I'm here to do, and I'm fully embracing it, no questions asked. And it really does make you feel amazing when you do that. And you know that there's all this potential for growth as well. So that's the key thing, really. No one can make you feel a certain way. Now, you might be listening to this going, well, such and such made me feel really crap the other day. My husband is doing my head in, is frustrating me, making me feel angry. And yeah, I completely get it. But if you think about it, if you take your power back in that situation and think, are these emotions mine? Can I express that is something I don't like? And can we change it? And then, yeah, you're back in the power, you're back in control. So it really can change your life when you get your boundaries right. And it comes down to self-love. But what I want to stress is, I don't want anybody thinking, oh, I've got really crap boundaries, I must not love myself, I must not be like, I haven't got enough self-worth. It is from the way that we've been brought up, the way we've been conditioned to think. And just because you've been brought up in a certain way and things have become your habit, doesn't mean you can't change them, and it doesn't mean you're in a bad place. You can change everything. So I don't want anybody thinking, oh my God, my self-worth is low. No, you're just in bad habits and bad routines. So it can all change for the better. Janie, I nearly didn't come on here because I knew it would piss someone off, but I'm here. Good on you, yeah. And you can't, it's got to be, do you want to do it? And, somebody else's reaction to what you're doing, that's down to them. And I'm sure I piss Mike off all the time coming on all these calls, but he knows that this is my passion, and I would do it anyway. So he doesn't have much choice in that. You're a great inspiration for continue to up level. It's so important to take our own power back. Yes, Cheryl. And choose again when things go off course. Yes. And that's the thing. I don't want anybody thinking, oh, I've tried it, it doesn't work, that's it. This is a daily practice. I have to practice this all of the time, because you think of the patterns of behaviour I was in. I mean, I'm 37 now. I've been doing, this work for 3-4 years. So I had like 33 years worth of the default patterning. And imagine how many years you've all got between you, probably loads. So it's just about practice to change them. So the first thing I really suggest that you do, and this is like my tip 1, is understand your limits. So what is your ultimate, this is the level that I don't want to go below. When I get to this point, I feel resentment, I feel anger, I feel like I'm being taken advantage of. So thinking about, for yourself, what is that point that you think, hiya Joanna, Val, another 30 years. So what is that point that you think, right, I'm not getting to that place, and put a bar on it, put a level on it, because this is the thing, we let ourselves get pushed and pushed and pushed, and we're pushing down below our own threshold. So think about that. If you get to the point where you feel anger, taken advantage of, or resentment, you've gone too low. If you're there, then that boundary is being pushed way too far. So you need to set your boundary above that point, so you're not actually dipping into them lower frequency emotions. So that's the first thing to think about. What is that limit you want to set? And as you begin to do this, and as you begin to set them, you'll actually go higher and higher. So the more you build on this practice, the higher that boundary you'll get. So if eventually things are, do I want to do them? Yes. Do I not? No. So there's no lower point for me. It's not, if I do it, I'll get to this emotion. It's, do I want to do it? No. Right? That's a no then. And you can rate the do I want to do it out of a 7 out. If you heard my Britt Carmichael podcast, she does a 7 out of 10 rule. So if it's not a 7 or above, she doesn't do it. So think about the things that you're doing in your life. How many of them are a 7 or above out of 10? Probably not that, not as many as you like. So start slowly and start building them up, and get more things that you want to do, rather than things that you really have to do. Which, do you have to do them because they're expected of by someone else? So that's what you need to do. Set your limit, and then tune into your feelings. So think of anger, resentment, guilt. Where's this coming from? What do you need to ask for at that point? What do you need to change? When you're feeling them, why are you feeling them? So are you doing things because you're trying to be like a good daughter, a good wife, and you're putting that above the extent of your own happiness? Because if you're feeling anger, guilt, resentment, and you're just doing the thing because you feel it's going to make you feel good, then this is where you've got to think, why am I doing this? Whose expectation is this on me? And often it might be your own. If you turn around and say, oh, I can't do that today, are they going to think, oh my God, Val is the worst daughter or wife ever? Probably not. So it's our own expectation, and it's that want to be liked, want to be a pleaser. And often it's not valid. So really think about that. When these emotions come up, who are you trying to please? Because it's not yourself. So really think about that. Oh, thanks, Val. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So then number 3, be direct. People are not mind readers. So you have to know exactly what you're asking for, and state what you want, state what isn't acceptable. So you can be really polite when you do this. You don't have to go out and cause loads of arguments with people, but you can stand in your own ground and say, no thanks, I'm not doing that today. And do you know what? No is the biggest thing. No is the simplest 2-letter word. And yet, how many of us in this group always add an extra sentence to it? How many of us can just go, no thanks? Even that, you need to say no thanks or something. Why don't we just say no? We say yes enough. Why don't we just say no, full stop, without adding, oh, but I would do it, but I can't because of this. And then you're justifying yourself. And again, you're giving out your own energy source, you're giving out your own power. So this one, really be direct with what you want. If you don't want to do something, just clearly say no, no thanks. And I'm doing it myself. No thanks. Oh my God, just say no. It's crazy. But it's just habit, isn't it? And this is the habit that we're into. We've got to be so polite. And why? Who are we trying to please? Because we're never pleasing us when we're saying yes. Every time you say yes to somebody and it's something you don't want to do, you're actually saying no to yourself. You're saying that you're not worth wanting, acknowledging your feelings. So why do we do that so easily when we would never do it to somebody else? So maybe ask yourself that question, why are you willing to say no to you and yes to 100 other people? So the next one, and this is, I suppose, leading on to this, give yourself permission. So fear, guilt, and self-doubt are massive pitfalls. And what we end up doing is we fear the other person's response, and that's why we go ahead with what we don't want to do. So we fear that they might get angry. We fear that we might not be heard. They might ignore what we're saying. We feel guilty sometimes, like I'm saying, feel guilty of saying no, and feel guilty of saying, I can't do that for you today, or I just don't want to. What if you just don't want to do something? It is learnt behaviour, Naomi, yeah? And this guilt and fear and self-doubt, if they're creeping up, you've got to ask yourself, and again, it comes back to, who are you trying to please? Who in your head is saying you've got to be good at this, you've got to be this person? Who's that for you? Because we'll all have them. We'll all have that person that we want to please. And boundaries are they're the standard of a healthy relationship. So it's once you have good boundaries in place, it's about self-respect. It's about respecting you enough to say, I am worth saying no. I am worth only spending my time and energy on things I enjoy to do. So give yourself permission, one, to set your boundaries, and because that's not a lot to ask, and also give yourself permission to preserve them. So it's no good setting them one day and then saying the next day, like, they'll ask again and you're like, oh, okay then, yeah, I'll do that. No, you can be like, I said no yesterday and I still mean no today, and that's it. So this is the thing, it takes time to get them in place and preserve them, because as well, everybody around you will know that what's this change about? Where's this come from? Why is she saying no all of a sudden when she's always said yes? So you've got to stand firm. You've got to keep your boundaries in place. Mary, you're spot on. Oh, thanks, Mary. So then 5, so again, just practice self-awareness, honing into them feelings. If you feel like you're slipping, if you feel like you're not being as strong as you were, if you feel like things are starting to change and you're starting to get them feelings creep in, like a little bit more resentment coming in, just take stock and just be like, right, what's happening here? What's actually changed? What am I doing different? What are other people doing different? And just have a real look at it and see what's happening, because you need to keep reinforcing it. So there's a gap there. So if you find yourself slipping, just think what needs to change again. And that's what I'm saying. It's a constant practice to get used to. And once you've got these strong boundaries in place, that will become your natural habit. So this now is you making that habit reality and making it an actual habit rather than, just trying something for a day or so. And then look at your past and your present. So this is where we said about thinking how you're raised, what role did you take in the family. If you were the caretaker, you've got to think you learned from a young age that you basically were here to focus on other people. And that was to the point of letting yourself feel drained emotionally and physically. And you were told that was okay. that was basically how the role you took. So if that was you, ignoring your own feelings and putting everybody else first has been a natural habit for you. So just take into account, is that the place you were? Hi, Mary. Is that where you were? Or is that the type of role you've took on through your life? Or do you not even notice that you're doing it? So for me personally, I used to look at my grandma and granddad's relationship and I thought, God, I could not have a relationship like that. My poor grandma, she literally, and they loved each other, but she literally did everything. If she was in that house, she would get him every drink, every sandwich. Literally, he would sit on his chair and she would get everything for him. And I remember taking her shopping once to Carlisle, which is our next city along. And she spent the whole day, instead of thinking she was out getting treated to a nice outfit for her son's wedding, she literally spent the whole day panicking that he wasn't going to have made himself a cup of tea and he wasn't going to have got himself anything to eat. Now, my granddad was not stupid. He knew exactly how to make a cup of tea and he knew exactly how to make himself a sandwich or get something to eat. But she spent the whole day panicking. And we even stopped off on the way home to get something to eat for ourselves because it had been a long day. And she was so panicked. She was literally like, walked through the door like, are you okay? Have you eaten? Have you done this? And he was like, yeah, of course I have. But in her head, that was her role. This is Rosalind's mum, so she knows it completely. But that was her role. And she could not step out of that, even for a day, to go and enjoy herself. And that just got worse because as he got older, he got ill. But that was before he was ill. This was when he was a very capable, very fit man. He would sit on that chair and she would go and get him absolutely everything. And that was how they worked. So I spent my life thinking, I love them to bits, but I do not want a relationship like that. And I ultimately ended up in exactly the same relationship. I did everything financially. I made every decision. I took on every emotion that my husband had, literally absorbed everything, but didn't do the housework as much. So I thought I was different. I was nowhere near different. I think my grandma and granddad had a better balance because there was partnership in a lot of things than me and my husband did, because I tried to avoid having that relationship, but it happened naturally. So just think about that. What have you tried to avoid, which you've maybe taken on in a different way? So really look at these roles that you take on and roles that you have and assess the relationships, because if you are feeling drained from that relationship, there's an imbalance and you need to work that out. There was a huge imbalance with me and my ex, and that was the reason. I literally took everything on, but then he let me, but he couldn't do anything neither. So he was as stunted as I was. So you think you're doing good, you think you're trying to help everybody, but actually I was stunting him grow. And once we split up, he has grown, and that's what happens. So you need to look at these relationships. How are you taking on that lesson for that other person as well? Because we think we're helping, we think we're really honestly try and help and try and do the best for other people and take care of them the best we can, but we smother them. So are any of you in that situation where you're not letting somebody else step up and really grow because you're doing everything and being that caretaker? So just have a little assess from your past and where you are at the minute and see what's happening, see what roles you're taking on. And then number 7 is all about making self-care a priority. So really, your self-care should be full priority. Most people, and I want to stress this point, because if you're an introvert as well, which a lot of people, might naturally be, if you are introverted, you need to physically have time alone to recharge your batteries. Now, you think of that, there's probably 50% of all of us, either introvert, extrovert. So an extroverted person, it's not about being loud, it's not about being socially bold, but it's about you recharge your energy from being around people, from talking to people. Them type of people talk their thoughts out loud. They literally like say what they think before they've even sorted out what they think in their own head. That's an extrovert because they bounce off people. Like, that is where they get their energy. An introvert is completely different. So if you're introverted and you are not getting your self-care or your time alone, how much do you think your energy is depleting? And how many mothers who are introverted don't let themselves have any time alone through the day, or don't like feel guilty for going having a bath? Like, no, none of us should feel guilty for going having a bath, doing our nails, doing our hair, doing whatever makes us feel good, meditating. Sometimes I do hear that some people get mocked or like told it's not important, like it's not an important part of the day to do your meditation. Hello, it's a massive part of your day and it's the best thing you could ever do for yourself. I was one of them people who didn't have time to meditate years ago. My journey took me a hell of a lot longer than it could have done if I'd started meditating every day back then. So if that's you, honestly, you think of your brain, it's the biggest muscle and it's always working, even in your sleep. So why would you not give it 10 minutes to do something calming, do something that's not going to be in this thinking brain and take you into your subconscious? It's a no-brainer, that one for me. So self-care is a massive priority and you should be making time for self-care, and part of setting good boundaries is doing that, and you're allowed that time. We're all allowed some time, so please just have a think about that. And then number 8, seek support. So what I've put on this one, which I love, I don't know whether this saying's right because I kind of always take a saying in them and put my own spin on it, which Mike finds hilarious, but I don't even know whether it's right. But what I've said is, don't ask directions from somebody who doesn't leave the house. Which basically means if you're trying to make a change, don't go to somebody for advice who's never done that or never even thought of doing that. So I know when I started this journey, I used to think my family's opinions and people around me, my friends who weren't on this way of thinking, I used to really listen to their opinions. And if I listened to their opinions, I wouldn't be where I am now, because I would have stopped, because none of them have the same thinking to give me any direction on what I'm doing. So what you need to do is seek people who have. So get yourself a coach, get in a group that are going to support you. Do things that are people wanting to make a change in their life, people wanting to put self-love as a priority. Get around them people, get talking to them people, get saying about what you're trying, what has worked, what hasn't worked. Share in the group. Like, this is key. Do not ask people around you that aren't interested in changing their life for the better, because they're going to give you all the advice under the sun, but it's not going to help you, because they're going to be sat there in 5 years' time in exactly the same place, and you can decide to be sat with them doing the same thing, or you can move on and try something else. And I'm not saying move on and leave them. I'm just saying move on, grow spiritually, mentally, whatever you need to do. Jen, people think it's selfish to do things or take care of yourself because they want you to serve their needs. Yeah, completely true. People do. And we're actually told that being selfish is a bad thing. How many people grow up saying selfishness is really bad? But selflessness is like the epitome of a woman and what we should be doing. Like, really, selflessness, giving everything out of us for the greater good? I don't think so. How many women that you know who are in their power, literally doing stuff like this, helping more people, but filling their own cup at the same time? What's going to get better? A mum who's gone completely drained, absolutely devoted to her whole kids, family, everybody, but never filling her own cup up. She's not giving her best to absolutely everything. because she can't, because she's coming from an empty cup. So self-care is so important, and surround yourself with good people who are going to help you on your journey. Like literally get yourself a coach, get yourself somebody who's out of the situation, often really helps. And then be assertive. So if you're making this change, you've got to stick to it. You've got to make sure people know what you're doing. Make sure that you're clear. People aren't mind readers, so you've got to spell it out for them, and you might have to spell it out for them a few times. So be assertive with it. You are allowed to do that. You're allowed to say, this is the new me. Sorry, but this is the new me. And actually, I wouldn't say sorry, because you don't have to. Don't have to apologise for setting boundaries. You don't have to apologise for making a change, and you don't have to apologise for deciding to grow. So powerful to give and fill your cup to. It is, Jen, honestly. And you are doing that. And then number 10, and this is like the last tip out of my 10, is start small. So if this is all new to you, like start small. Don't just dive in with, right, I'm telling everybody they're absolutely rubbish in my life. I'm telling everybody they take advantage of me. I'm just going to be like, no, I'm not doing anything. You've all pissed me off and whatever. That's not going to work, because all you're going to get is a load of backlash, and you're going to feel crap because you weren't ready for it. So start small. Start setting. Hiya, Jamie. Start setting like just small things that you can begin to change. So go and take that 2-hour bath if you want, and say that you're doing it. And don't apologise for doing it. Or go and get your massage. Go and do that bit of self-care that you wouldn't normally do. Or just say to your husband or whoever's in your life, can you empty the dishwasher tonight? Can you do this? Or give him whatever you need to do. Or just say, I'm not doing this today, so can you do it? You know, whatever it is that you want to start with, just start small. Because then when you see how it works and how you feel and how you build up to it, and did you feel guilty, you can assess why. Why did I feel guilty? Was it even my guilt, or was I thinking I needed to be somebody for somebody else? So really assess what's going on, and then start to build on it. So then you set bigger boundaries, and then bigger boundaries, and then you get to the point where you just don't tolerate the crap, and you don't give away your power, and you don't let everybody be the priority in your life instead of yourself. So they are my 10 tips, with a load of random stuff thrown in as well. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And what I wanted to show you all is, this is what we do in the masterclass. You get a session like this, but it's on Zoom. So they get in the masterclass, all the girls get a session with me, and if they can make it, they can join me live on Zoom, so they can ask questions at the time, because obviously we're just in the chat at the minute. And then we do a Q&A session, so they go away and try it. They can try everything we've done, and then come back and ask questions about it. So if anybody just want to join the membership, come along, join it. It's fab. And if not, I am going to be doing the intention setting meditation on Sunday as well. So I hope you're all coming to that, because that'll be in this group. And we've got a massive big portal of energy coming at the minute. So tomorrow is 12/12. So we're kind of entering this new portal and this new way of being. And it's about really tapping into, what do we want to let go of this year? What do we want to release? What do we want to stop and let go of, so that we step into our new life? So on the winter solstice, which is 21/12, this is when this portal kind of closes, but the energy will still be about. But this is when it's all about stepping into this new way of consciousness. So basically manifesting what you want into your life. So really we're going to look at on Sunday, letting go of what you don't need and what you're not taking with you, and set up that ritual and that meditation for going into that new you. And really, what do you want to set for this new life? So I did a hypnosis, which Jen did as well before, around this, and it was amazing. And in my hypnosis, it was literally, I got told to like plug in my energy to source, and all of my insides, like all of my cells were to become like a magnet, like all vibrating, and like I was plugging into a battery pack and charging myself up. And then I pulled this card afterwards, which is Be the Magnet. So this stuff works. It is crazy how it all works, and it blows my mind, this magic. But come and enjoy it on Sunday, because even if you just take away a nice meditation, it'll be really good. So Casey, it's so good, so much to learn, an amazing group. I would highly. Oh, thanks, Casey. I'm so pleased you're in it. Right, so that's me for tonight. Unless anybody has any quick questions, if you want to pop any in the chat, just let me know. And if not, I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, I've gone through this on the podcast, so if you need to hear the information again as well, it's there. I think I probably went into a little bit more tonight, but I think my favourite saying is definitely do not take directions from people who haven't left the house. So if you're starting to change your boundaries and you're trying to please these people, you can't take advice from the people that you've always tried to please. You know, bear that in mind, because they'll try and give you all the advice under the sun, and they'll mean it from a really nice place, and they'll also mean it from the place of, I don't want you to change because then that affects me. So they'll be selfish about it. Not in a nasty way, it's just their patterning as well, so just bear that in mind. Really good night. Oh, thank you. Night. It'll be late there. Thanks, Jen. So, thanks, Cheryl. So if nobody's got any questions, just go and enjoy your night. And if you're in America, it won't be that late. But over here, it's like 9:15. So I've loved doing it. And like I said, I do them in the membership, which is fab. And this is not the last chance to join the membership neither. It's open every month. So I'll be letting you know what masterclasses we're doing in there. January 1 is all going to be about how we set up the new year, how we go into the intention setting, what we really want to achieve, what we want to bring to 2021, and getting ourselves really ready for 2021 so that we've got good things in place. And there's going to be all sorts going on in there next year, so come and join us. 7 a.m. there. Or are you in Australia, Mary? God, so nice. Thanks for coming now. That was fab. Thank you. You've given me so much to think about tonight. I know, sorry, it's like 8 o'clock at night here, and it's kind of a lot to take in, isn't it? Especially if you're new to this type of like setting boundaries and things. So you might all be whizzing a bit tonight. You might have to do a meditation to chill you out. Which, if you want a free one, just go and get my my gratitude one. That's a free meditation if anybody wants that. I think there's the gratitude one and the I am affirmation one, which is free. Oswald, thanks for joining us, but you've just missed most of it, so you'll have to catch the replay. Yeah, or I bet you've got nice weather over there, though, Mary. We're all cold and a bit drizzly tonight, so you're lucky being out there. You're getting your summer, aren't you? So thank you all for joining me. It's been absolutely fab. I do love doing these. It's like my favourite thing ever. So yeah, just thank you for coming. It's been amazing. And any questions, just pop them in the comments, and I'll post the links for the membership. I'll post the links for them meditations as well. I did. And the meditation that come out that said about recharging my energy like a magnet, and really like getting all your cells vibrating and putting that energy out there. I've actually recorded that one as a meditation, so that'll be in Member Vault soon. And that one, it'll be so good for working on the law of attraction, being that magnet for what you want. You'll literally be just, if you listen to that every day, you will literally be attracting in what you want. It is power, honest. It's going to be so good. You're killing me, Mary. I've been in a dress and oh, by the way, yeah, got my Christmas dress on here. Candy canes on it. Loving it. So getting into the Christmas spirit. Yeah. But right, everybody have a lovely night and I will speak to you all soon. Pop your comments in. If you're watching the replay, let me know and I will see you guys on Sunday. And we've got the masterclass in the membership next Thursday, which is going to be fab as well. So I will speak to you all then. Bye.